Okay, my friends, so here is our second go-around here with the variables and the one-step equations. Whoop, didn't mean to make that mark. Let's just go ahead and get rid of that. Okay, so our equation was 3 plus x equals 9. And my ultimate goal is to isolate the variable. Isolate the variable. Now, what's the variable? Well, the variable is this nifty little guy right here that's represented as a letter. That means we don't know what goes in there, but we can go ahead and figure that out. So our first step always is going to be to draw our train tracks to separate our sides of the equation. And then we're going to box and circle. Box and circle, box and circle. Okay, so I'm going to box all my numbers, put those in a nice, neat little box, and circle my variables. And my variable is already circled, so I can just keep going. Okay, now I want to combine my like terms. So I'm going to take my 9 and my 3. I need to put them together. Well, but 9's on the other side of the railroad tracks. So how do I get these two together? Well, my goal, remember, is to get this guy by himself. So to get him by himself, I need to get rid of his neighbor here, Mr. 3. And in order to get him over here on the other side of the train tracks, we need to do the opposite. So right now, he's a positive. So we're going to make him negative. So subtract 3. So what I do to one side, I do to the other side. That cancels out. And it leaves me with an x here. And 9 minus 3 is 6. So I have x equals 6. See, I got x by himself. And that worked out. Okay, here is another example. We're doing the same thing, one-step equations. We've got x minus 4 equals 10. Again, our goal is to isolate the variable. That means we need to get the variable all by himself. I like to think of the variable as a cranky old man, and he just wants to live by himself. Everybody leave him alone. Everybody needs to move to another neighborhood. So here's our train tracks, because that's what we do first. And then we box our numbers, and we're going to go ahead and box whatever sign is next to it also. And of course, you know, if there's no sign next to it, you just assume that it's positive. So that's positive and that's positive because there's nothing next to it. But 4 had a negative, so we can box the whole thing in. Okay. So next, I can go ahead and combine my boxes here. Well, 4 needs to move to the other side of the train tracks right here and to get x by himself. And in order to move 4, we need to do the opposite. So because he's a negative, we're going to do positive 4 or add 4. And what I do to one side, I do to the other side. So that cancels out. And what I'm left with here is x, so we just move him down. And I have 10 plus 4. It's 14. Sorry about all that nonsense. Okay, so here we isolated our variable and got x equals 14. Let's do another one. The next one we have is going to be 5x, or 5 times x, because when we smush them together, that means multiply, equals 20. And again, our goal is always to isolate the variable. So, first, we draw our train tracks. Next, we box and circle. So this right here is actually combined together. So I have to box, or I have to circle them together like a variable. And then I'm going to box. Uh-oh, now you're saying, but Ms. Arsenal, I have one circle and one box. How do I get them together? Well, this is being multiplied, right? They're married. So in order to get them unmarried, we need to divorce them. or divide. So we divide by 5 and divide by 5. So these 5's cancel out, which leaves me with x by itself. Yay! Cranky x gets to be by himself. And 20 divided by 5 is 4. So x equals 4. And of course, if we plug that in, we have 5. And we substitute 4 for x because you told me that x was equal to 4 equals 20. I can check my work. 5 times 4 is 20, and 20 equals 20, so I am correct. X equals 4. And let's do one more. We have x divided by 2 equals 8. So first we're going to draw our train tracks. And again, we need to isolate the variable. That means we get him all by himself. Isolate the variable. And then we box and circle. Well, again, these are attached. We can't just separate them. So we have to go ahead and circle the whole thing. And then we can box our number here. Okay, now, but Ms. Arsenal, what do I do here? Because I only have one circle and one box. How do I get them together? Well, this couple here has been divorced, and they want to really get separated. So they're going to multiply. Because multiplying is the opposite of divide. So we're going to multiply by 2. And what I do to one side, I do to the other side. So that cancels out, which leaves me with x all by his lonely self. And 8 times 2 is 16. So x equals 16. Now, can we plug that in? Yes, we can. We can substitute 16 for x because you told me that x equals 16. So we have x divided by 2 equals 8. But we know what that is now, so let's go ahead and put 16 in instead because x equals 16. Divided by 2 equals 8, and then we can work it out. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 equals 8, and we are correct. X does equal 16. Good job. Okay, and as always, you need to rewind this if you need to watch it again. And, of course, you will sign on to Khan Academy and complete the activities for Khan Academy posted on the website today. Have a great evening. See you tomorrow.